So Heraclius was the son of Heraclius Senior and Epiphana, and was bilingual from an early age, speaking both Armenian and Greek. His father, Heraclius the Elder, was a general during the war with Shah Bahrain Chobin, who usurped the Sasanian throne, and as a thanks, King Maurice appointed Heraclius the Elder as Exarch of Africa, also known as the Governor of Africa. So, anyway, they're actually interesting, Heraclius. So it's 608, and your father has just renounced loyalties to Phorcus, who was unpopular for the disdain of the elite and his lack of allies. He was so bad that r/Byzantium has to blow out his name, so it sounds like Phorcus. So what would you do in Heraclius' situation? Well, Heraclius' cousin, Nicetas, launched an invasion of Egypt and defeated Phorcus' general Bonosus, and secured the province, while the young Heraclius sailed eastward to claim Constantinople, and as soon as he reached Constantinople, the linchpin of the Byzantines, he was met by a fearsome foe, the elite imperial guards called the Executors, and were responsible for putting down many Byzantine emperors and putting them on the throne. They were led by one Priscus, who was Phocas' son-in-law. Then these elite military men decided to desert Priscus and join Heraclius, and with his help, they took over the city with no qualms or quarrels. And finally, Heraclius had captured the emperor.
And this is how you rule a foreman.
Like you could rule better, you pig, bread swine.
Right. I was going to let you live, but no.
And like that, there was no Emperor of Byzantium until a year later when Heraclius was crowned on October the 5th, 610, in the chapel of St. Stephen. They married his wife Eudokia, and they were happy together. Until her death in 1612 when he decided to marry his niece Martina instead. And even for the time, people were like, that seems a bit wrong there, buddy. So now I've talked about marriage and stuff, let's talk about war. So this entire time the war's been going on between the Persians, and it was up to Heraclius to end it. So, by the time he was elected, the Persians conquered Mesopotamia and the Caucasus. Then in 1611, they took over Syria and entered Anatolia. But luckily, in 1613, Heraclius led a counterattack, but failed miserably outside of Antioch. By 614, the Persians had swallowed Palestine and Egypt, along with Damascus and Jerusalem. When the Sasanians reached Chalcedon in 615, Heraclius decided to let Byzantium become a Persian client state, even letting the Persian emperor choose a new Byzantine emperor. But Persia wasn't having that and just carried on invading. With Persians at the gates of Constantinople, Heraclius was ready to abandon the city and move to Carthage. But he stood his ground and...
Khosrow, you want all this for the peace offering, just the money, yes.
Носили Byzantine на Skyrim. I want annual silver tributes and gold tributes, thousands of silk robes and thousands of horses.
Thank the gods he didn't ask for the virgins.
Ah yes, and the virgins too.
Luckily, this tribute let him remilitarize, so he could launch a counteroffensive like he did in 622. So Heraclius entrusted Sergius with the protection of Constantinople, so he ran off to go free his homeland. Armenia was quickly captured from the Persians, and then he stayed campaigning before returning, and then yet again leaving in 624, this time with his wife and children, before fighting in the Caucasus, winning many victories again in Armenia against Khosrow. The Persians were now turning tail and running, so in 637 he defeated the Persians in Mesopotamia, then south along the Tigris. Then he got ready to invade the capital of Persia.
Iljan here you loud and clear, what? No why? Kavad killed Khosrow for me. And now he wants to have a peace with me. Joy.
So Kavad killed his dad and was now suing for peace, agreeing to let Heraclius keep all occupied territories and giving him back the true cross of Jerusalem, which Khosrow had stolen when he sacked Jerusalem. That's why Basileus Heraclius, King of Kings, returned the true cross to Jerusalem in 629. Now, despite this being a video about Heraclius, let's flash over to Persia, where, what's that? Kavad just died, and now there's a massive civil war between Adrastir, one of Heraclius' allies called Shahrazad, one of the Khosrow's daughter named Boran, and a guy with an ancient wizard name, with them all succeeding to the throne within months of each other. Well, that seems peaceful. And also over in the Byzantine, what is this? There's a war that's been going on and off for around 400 years that's just ended and has politically and militarily crippled the Byzantines, with the Muslims busting through their walls like the Kool-Aid Man. So, in 629, the Byzantines fought the Arabs at the Battle of Mutar, with the results being a Byzantine victory. The next year, 630, the Arabs launched another offence, this time crushing the Byzantines at the Battle of Yarmouk, leaving the larger Byzantine army in the dust, and within 3 years Levant was taken. Whoever was going to solve this? Well, as Heraclius slipped to sleep with a sniffly nose, he caught a cold and died.